And
That wraps it up.
No, we got feedback.
Oh, feedback.
Feedback.
How do we do this without the feedback yet?
Well, I don't know.
You jumped out of order.
Oh, I'm out of order. You're out of order. This whole place is out of order. God, I was waiting for that.
There you go.
I'm walking here.
That's from Pacino to Hoffman. It's like you never know
I
what's
love
going to
that
happen.
line. I'm out of
today.
order. You're out of. I could just. It's typical New Yorker.
Gdayall, and welcome to episode 38. Herbs and spices. Because actually last Thursday was Herbs and Spices Day, but we're just doing a bit of catch up.
Where's we're talking about ketchup too?
No, we can.
Oh.
Or catsup. Like that's a whole topic. Let's maybe not.
But where's Peaches?
And herb.
Yeah, come on.
Oh no, I'm not singing it here though. Now, feeling a bit spicy or salty? This is the time to have your vent of the week.
Already?
Yeah, well, you were hating cinnamon the other day when I talked to you.
No, I'll save it.
Okay, all right. So I was doing a bit of research. Not only the shop, we've got heaps of different blends, so that's handy because I can look at regionals.
And there's more coming.
Yes,
we got a load of new ones coming in. If they ever get here because of the container
the great
debacle all over the world.
Yes, because they're all delayed and then they keep putting us off and then they're just sitting in the ocean somewhere waiting for us. What I have discovered that we are really the king of blends. There's really no one spice. Like you see, think of oregano, I think of great cooking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, basil or basil, I think of Italian cooking.
Yep.
But there's none of that.
Yep.
Oh, look, they decided to build a house next door again just as we record.
As we're talking.
So we will, and there's some regional blends, which is just so America, the whole melting pot scenario.
Yep.
There we go.
All right. So now you have already that you want to answer some feedback from our customers. Just a clarification.
Yes. So I have been on the little chat bubble with many of our customers this week who want to use the discount code word for the month, and they don't know where the discount box is. So when you finish everything up and you click to go to your cart, and then you click check out, when you check out on that page on the right-hand side, under your goodies, it says there's a box there, a red box, and it says discount code or gift certificate. And you just pop it in there. And that's all you have to do, and then you'll get the discounts.
Quick and easy.
Quick and easy. Right. And look, I'm happy to help people. I just can't apply it once it's been done. So just let me know early enough and I'll help you out.
And the discount code for this month is?
Swoon. So that's SWOON. I almost did it the Australian way.
What? There's an Australian way to spell swoon?
SWOON.
Oh, double O's.
I know. I've been here too long. I can't help it.
Double. The only doubles I know is double mint gum, you know.
Or W. And we also...
W.
That's it. Every time someone used to say that, I'm going, am I writing a W in your phone number?
W.
So the Saturday, the 26th of June, we're going to have an in-store podcast recording.
Woohoo!
It'll be part of our 4th of July festival.
Yeah.
There'll be some samples. There'll be us.
Well, the samples, depending upon the Victorian government.
Yes. So we'll hopefully, or there might be some little treaties that are wrapped up that we might be able to do
we could
something
probably do
with.
that. Yes, definitely.
We will work it out, guys. Mm-hmm. We won't let you go hungry.
Because it's got to be party time.
That's right. And
as long as we don't have a 5-mile radius.
Yeah, well, it should all be fine.
Yes.
Now, also, we are going to do in a few weeks a copycat recipe show. So we would love to hear what code you had to crack when you moved here and you couldn't find things that you wanted to taste like home.
And we're going to share one on this episode.
Yes, so get ready. Get your pens out. It's not exact though, so it's still sort of secret.
Of course it's secret.
That's right. But, there's a story to it, as there is with everything.
Yes. All right. So now this show, we're going to be talking about Americans and their love of spice. But we don't grow any of that stuff in America.
No. We'll talk about why. But I thought we would have, and I kind of looked into it.
You think that in Florida or
Yep.
Hawaii or somewhere like that, they could grow a bunch of herbs and spices.
Not really. I
But you
mean,
know where most of it comes from?
where?
Sri Lanka.
Yes, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Now we're going to talk about what the most popular spices are, which are
Yeah.
blends.
Yeah.
The secret to a good barbecue rub and spice rub,
There is a good secret.
there's secret. There's 4 S's.
Ah.
And not, from Shinola. We'll work that out.
Shinola's in it?
And Phil?
Salt versus kosher salt?
Yes.
Oh,
We
okay.
get asked that all the time.
Yeah. What's the difference?
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Don't
It
give the
depends
show
on-
away at the beginning.
Depends on the rabbi. Yeah. No. Go ahead.
Liquid smoke, which you might not think is, but it is a seasoning.
And it's all natural.
It is. There's
Yes.
quite an interesting story to that as well.
Yeah, I had an argument. We're talking about ranch, right? You asked me before rant. I had a discussion.
A
Yeah.
spirited discussion.
Yeah, with some guy, and he's going off, and
Some
I
guy.
think this is even on the radio. He was going off that he's like this, big barbecue chef. And I'll never use liquid smoke; it's all artificial. I said you should, and then I get it back on. I rang in. It was on 3AW.
Yeah, so you
And
have to ring in.
I rang in. I said, liquid smoke is a completely all natural ingredient. Do your homework.
click.
Yeah.
I actually had a discussion with a gentleman myself with that, and it ended up that he sent me a lovely email of apology. Now, things like, Americans, and we've discussed ranch dressing at least a dozen times in this podcast history. Now comes in a shaker.
Yeah.
So you can
just cost a fortune. So,
if you want the most expensive way to get ranch dressing,
and the most plentiful way.
Yeah. Well, because if you want to put it on your popcorn, you don't want to open a whole packet and then
just
fold
don't
it
give
back
it
up.
to the kids to use.
No.
I'll pour it on there for you.
Yeah, no, don't do that. So Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, there's our secret.
There's our secret. I'll tell you that story. Mind where you put your scrap paper, people. 11 secret herbs and spices. I said herbs then. It's herbs.
I'm confused now.
I don't. So am I. I've lived here too long. Now,
get over it.
It's peaches and herb.
Yeah.
And it's herbs and spices.
How come nobody's named Herb anymore?
Why would you name your kid Herb? No offense to the herbs of the world.
Well, it'll be Herbert, right?
Exactly.
Well, see, anybody that lived in the New York metropolitan area in the time I did there, one of the disc jockeys on WABC,
right?
I think he did the morning show.
Yes.
Was HOA. Herb Oscar Anderson.
Well, now I think we've got names now like Brandon, Jackson.
We used to have Wolfman.
Yeah, I love Wolfman Jack. Now, what is
and we also used to have Cousin Brucey. Bruce Morrow. Yeah.
I can't remember any of my DJs.
And going further back, before my time even.
Right.
Was Murray Decay and the Swingin' Soiree.
What's the herb in that?
Yeah. No, I know there's no. I know. We just get off. Come
on.
We
riffing now.
Yeah.
He's riffing.
Yeah.
Now, see, the difference is.
And speaking of music.
Are we? Okay, sure. It's all gotten to hell now, but okay.
We're planning on a podcast with music and food.
Yeah, that we are.
Yeah.
So if you have any ideas.
It just came to our mind about 2 minutes ago.
And we wrote it down, so it'll happen. So if you have any ideas on
if we didn't write it down, we would have forgot about it already.
Now, would you like me to move on with this?
Yeah,
or shall
go
we
ahead.
change
I'm
the
sorry.
topic?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, our favorite topic.
Yeah.
Who got ripped off?
Who?
This week it's you.
Oh, me.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
And, I think 2 quintessential American spice blends, pumpkin spice and like the apple cider spice. So that's a good fall, winter sort of holidays. When you smell it, it's the right time of year.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not just, it was even before Starbucks, even though they made it famous. But now, fun fact number 1.
Yeah, old Tricky Dickie's in this one.
This, makes me think of him, though. It's a little bit bland. Richard Nixon's favorite snack was cottage cheese sprinkled with Lowry's seasoned salt. I might try that. I don't know. I can see where it's going because, like, cottage cheese on its own, all those diet plate specials in the 70s and 80s.
Oh, no, it's terrible. Yes.
Now, I want you to read fun fact 2.
Number 2. So it's nutmeg was once so
Exotic?
Exotic. Yeah, I was
Yes.
going to say erotic. No, exotic. That the
Right.
Dutch traded the entire island of Manhattan to the Brits for the islands that grew nutmeg.
There's your Spice Islands.
So
Go.
that's not Manhattan Island.
Yeah.
No, like in the Bronx.
Like New Amsterdam.
Oh, New Amsterdam. Yeah, no, they traded with the Indians.
They traded with everyone.
How many owners did that?
Well, I don't know. Who owns it now?
Okay.
At least it was for islands, not like beads in a mirror.
Yeah.
You never know. And nutmeg. And hey, maybe they were getting in on something early.
Yeah.
Nutmeg is a psychotropic. Is psychotropic, and the high enough doses causes hallucinations,
Ooh.
delusions, and impending senses of doom.
Well, watch out for that eggnog next year.
Well, there's a funny story.
So is it the rum or the nutmeg now?
It's the nutmeg because some lady, it was a story I read about 4 or 5 years ago. She was at her local Starbucks.
Yeah.
And she went to put nutmeg on her chai, right? And some idiot kid did the salt trick.
Right.
So
it all came out.
It all came out. So
Yeah.
she's like, oh, it'll float to the bottom.
Yeah.
She was
gone.
She was gone. She had to go to the hospital because she was tripping.
Wow.
And I was like, that can't
Could
be
you
real.
smoke it too? Or
Don't give anyone any ideas.
put it in your brownies.
I don't know how much I can have to do that. Oh, now, I might need a psychotropic. Some
Okay.
type of
So we'll
tropic
take a time out here and we'll be right back. Well, American love spices.
Yes, we do, but we don't grow them.
No.
Oh, there's a few exceptions. In California and Oregon, onion and garlic, like the Gilroy Garlic Festival.
But is that a spice?
Well, I think it is because you can dry them both and use them.
Yeah. You think of spices as like, nutmeg and cinnamon, things that grow on a tree.
Yeah, but what about oregano, basil?
Yeah, that's true.
It's just okay. So we'll agree that it is.
Agreed. Yeah, but those are the two biggest spices that America grows. Actually, is dehydrated garlic and dehydrated onion.
That is right.
And in fact,
yes,
in the everything bagel seasoning that we make, the onion comes
yes,
from the U.S. of A.
beautiful.
That was that and the kosher salt's the only two things. The rest of them come from like where everybody else gets their spices, probably like Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. And there's also, and we used to sell this. I am not going to read the Latin name for it, but Mexican oregano. So that is, it's not oregano. It's the same sort of taste, but it grows in like the Pecos. So, and in rocky sort of outlandings. So that is another one. So in the last 50 years, per capita spice consumption, so 1.2 pounds annually. So that's in year 2000, right? And then by 2020, it's gone up to 3.7 pounds.
More than 3 times.
So we're
increase.
spicy.
Yeah, we're spiced out. I think a lot of it has to do with everybody discovered rubs.
That's true. And I think a lot of the people, like the different immigrants that came over. So we've got Sri Lankan, we've got Indian, we've got, different parts of the world, Caribbean, which have always sort of been there.
Yeah.
And even to prove that, even we did a cookbook show a while back as well, The Joy of Cooking. They update it every so many years, and they've had to add like butter chicken and different curries and things because that's now
what people want.
So it's sort of changed. Yeah. And also, to be honest, we don't have the climate to grow it everywhere. We grow a lot of things, but that's not using the land for that is not what it's used best for. Because what Florida's oranges.
Yeah, and some of the most common ones you got here, like vanilla beans.
Yes.
Which is a flower. It's
that's right. It's an orchid.
Orchid, right? I mean, if you could make this house into a orchid factory, you make a fortune because that is like the most expensive thing now. I think with all the cooking shows and everybody's using vanilla, and just outpaced how much they were producing, and it still does, because like vanilla extract used to be like 49 cents at Safeway, right?
That's right.
And now it's $49.
Well, and people are wanting the quality where you'd go to specialty shops,
Yeah.
and now people, reading things on Pinterest or following a chef or master chef or watching something like that are going, no, I want the, Madagascar,
Yeah.
bourbon vanilla.
Hmm.
And so they're searching for it. And also we have, like in the Southwest, there's different chilies. So that is part of it as well.
Yep.
And through Mexico and South America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we go into like the peppercorn, which is one of the most popular spices. So you got black pepper, white pepper, chili pepper. Well, chili peppers
that's different. Red pepper.
Different. Yeah,
they're kind of in the same family, but not. They're like cousins.
Yeah, and they got green peppercorns and
or you can get the green peppercorns in the can, like the yes, lots of good stuff. And most people, I'd say 90% will have salt and pepper shakers near the stove, or that's what they grab for. Like you don't want eggs without salt and pepper on it. There's some stuff that just needs a little blast of something. But looking at what was most popular, there's a list, and I've added a few to it. They're all blends, every single one of them. There's not one standout sort of singular.
There's so many different ones. I mean, it depends what you're cooking, the origin of what you're cooking, all has to do with the blends. But probably, mostly all those blends probably originally were for, like an Italian food or Indian food. And now America really has their own blend with all the rubs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you can see our different influences. So, and we've forgotten one, which I'm going to mention after this one. Mm-hmm. So there's Saison, which is Puerto Rican, which
Puerto
has...
Riqueño. I just spoke to my friend Tony Cruz.
Yes.
How
is Tony?
He's good. He lives in Melbourne. Yeah, just outside of Melbourne.
Why don't you bring him in for a chat?
No, Melbourne, Florida.
Oh. I walked right into that one. Door slammed me on the rear end.
It was like, I haven't talked to him in a long time, and he calls up, and that's just a great comment. Yeah, it's just,
That's lovely, because I've heard lots about Tony Cruz.
Yes. And I said to him, and he was laughing, what we talked about last week. I said, when things are bad, Tony Cruz always said, you eat good.
That's right. So he's even quoted. Yes. So this Saison has cilantro, cumin, garlic powder, oregano, salt, and ground annatto seeds. Now, can I just say one thing when I said cilantro? Yeah. Cilantro and coriander are the same thing.
Yep.
So I spent a good year, my first year here, going, I just want coriander, or I just want cilantro. And it was coriander. Yeah. So that is one blend, and I will mention tahine. We forgot to put this down because that is it's on everyone's lips at the moment.
I know. It's like came out of nowhere.
It is. So it's sort of citrus and bitey and good on
everything.
Everything, including
fruit,
watermelon, beer.
I think originally it was for fruit, and then they got to rim the glasses of beer and margaritas and
Micheladas.
Yeah, micheladas. Oh yeah. Still scared to try that.
Yeah, it's good. I had one for breakfast in Hawaii.
Oh,
I did. I had no choice. It was just served to me.
And spices and all. And we mentioned ketchup. Now, do you put eggs on your ketchup?
Ketchup on my eggs?
Yes.
No.
Now I do, but only when I'm away. Like.
Do you want to use everything on the table?
I don't, because when you go to like Norm's or something like in California, and you go there for a breakfast and you get your like your Graham Slam, you get your bacon, your eggs, and they always bring ketchup out, and I always put it on, and when I'm home I don't do it, but I enjoy it when I'm over there.
You should try it since we're not traveling for a while. You might like to have that one. Yeah. Now, I always thought that was just a bit, I don't know. It doesn't do it for me, but I am not.
Hot sauce. That's another big thing in America on your eggs.
Oh yeah. When you sit down there, there's a little tray in the middle, and it's got some hot sauce, so whatever they've got, Tabasco or whatever, ketchup, sometimes a barbecue sauce,
sometimes
depending, and then you got your little sweet and lows and your sugars and your little cups of half and half that are long life.
Except for Florida, all those little cups and stuff, they're no longer on the table or at McDonald's because all the old ladies used to come and
put them in the bag. Evidently, when I was a little kid,
you open up the drawer and hey, Grandma, what's in this drawer? You open it up and it flies out of all these little
half and halves and some mustard and like that. Yeah. I used to sit there as a little kid and drink them, and my mom winkled at me. I can't actually. She will say she didn't let me, but I'm pretty sure she let me because I made it through a whole thing of it once. So we've got achiote paste, which people do ask for a lot. It's used a lot for coloring.
Yeah, it's basically because it's called racchiato rojo.
Yes,
Yeah.
so red. And that has annatto seeds, which is where the color is coming from, garlic, cumin, oregano, cinnamon, pepper, allspice, salt, and cloves.
But it's mostly coloring. You really don't taste all the other stuff that's in it.
No, and it's used for rubbing and marinating things.
Yeah, like chicken.
And if you put it with liquid, so water, oil, lemon juice, it becomes this red paste.
Yeah. And the other one is filet powder.
Yes, and we were the only people that had that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's made from the sassafras root.
Yes, it's a necessary thing.
Yep. Especially in doing some jambalaya. Mio
That's right.
Mio. Go to Hank Williams song.
It's there. And so it is just one ingredient needed for gumbo. I haven't seen it used in anything else in filet, and people want it, and they're like, do you have filet?
Yeah.
Yes, I have filet. It was originally used by the Choctaw Indians, which I'll mention because that's where my family allegedly hails from.
Yeah.
And then the Cajuns started using it in Louisiana, adding it to stews and things to thicken it. So you don't want to put it in your gumbo until the very end, or it gets a bit stringy. It's sort of like okra.
So
Can thicken and make it all slimy. You don't want that.
So you feeling filet today? Okay. Like jambalaya you got here in parentheses on the bayou.
Yes.
Okay. So when I worked at the Bagel Bakery many years ago, right? So we used to deliveries Saturday morning, like at 5 a.m.
Yes.
Right? And we're driving around, and we go through this area before you go from Brooklyn into Coney Island, and there's a creek there. It's called Coney Island Creek. So
makes sense.
John Cush, who comes from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Right.
So he's in the car with us. And every once in a while, like you go by, he goes, this is a stinky bayou.
Yes, I can imagine. When I went to New York, it had a lot of interesting aromas coming out of grates in different areas.
Yes. Especially in the summertime.
Well, yes. So my favorite part of hearing the song Jambalaya is, and we were talking about this last week, my favorite quote from the movie Steel Magnolias is people dancing at the wedding. And there's this one lady, and Dolly Parton says to Olympia Dukakis, that one lady out there looks like two pigs fighting under a blanket. Fell in love with that song. Now, I won't make any smart aleck remarks, Brendan.
Yeah.
Jerk seasoning.
Jerk seasoning, yeah.
Yes.
From our bodies in Jamaica.
Jamaica,
right. Mom. Yeah.
That's right. So now we have carried jerk seasoning in the past, and it is so for a dry rub or a wet marinade. It's a spicy charred sort of dish at the end. Basic ingredients are pimento. Actually, pimentos. We need to talk about pimentos. Why can't we find those here? Like canned like just the pimentos.
I know, little pimento things. I know that. But you got peppers in a jar, which is basically
but I did
98% of the same thing.
The producer get irritated that I've gone off track. I bought in the olden days because I wanted pimentos for something. Right. I bought a jar of olives.
And took the pimentos out?
The pimentos out and chucked the olives and used them for...
And the pimentos taste like olives. Yes, okay.
Exactly right. So it's mixed with other peppers such as Scotch bonnet and onion, salt, garlic, thyme, and scallions, which we would call green onions.
And then they cook it over the steel drums. When they're not using them for music, I guess they put a little fire underneath them, and they season wild pig and boar and
right.
Yeah, and they cook them over the coals and those.
And so this is another seasoning that came from people that were brought to America as slaves, and it's from their culture, and they would use it to. Well, it actually says runaway slaves who would season wild pig's meat with it. It is jerk chicken and jerk food is fantastic. There's a great jerk food truck in Melbourne too, kicking around. So sometimes it's at the Vic Market.
Did you remember the other week we were talking about the Jerky Boys?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you listen to their stuff yet? No.
No, I have not.
They used to do all these prank calls. So.
Yes. Yeah. Zane and I used to do all of our prank calls to the only area code that we knew outside of our own was New York.
So 212.
That's it. So we would make all these calls. Let's make up a number. Your fridge is outside. Okay. Now we've got thankful to our neighbors up north.
Yep. The Montreal steak seasoning.
And this is so popular. It's one of those really chunky rubs that you make like a crust on the beef. And we've used it on lamb as well. And everything else you can put it on. But
if we could ever get the Weber one back in, Weber makes a certain one called that they serve at their store in Chicago. It's a Chicago steak seasoning, which is similar,
Right.
very peppery and all, but just slightly different.
All of those are good because it just makes such a difference to the meat.
Mm.
This one has black pepper, coarse salt, cayenne, garlic, paprika, onions, coriander, and dill. Actually, I've never really tasted the dill in it. Maybe that's what's the difference.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I've got a big giant jar in the cupboard. We go through that.
And now we're back to one of the old-time favorites.
That's right.
It's not my old-time favorite, but I just reading through the notes here, I just figured out maybe I found something I could use it in.
Oh, good. It's a true American flavor profile, this one. It was on the East Coast, and it is
Old Bay seasoning.
And that's the one thing people come in, and
Yeah,
when we
got
couldn't get it
Old
for a
Bay,
period of
Old Bay.
time.
Yeah, and well, even when we can't get it, we try to get the McCormick locally one that's made here or blended here and then done a little bit different, they say. I can't be the judge of that because I'm not an Old Bay aficionado. But, it's a substitute when we can't get the original ones.
Yeah, sometimes we can't. Yeah. But you can use it.
And with all the delays in shipping and all that,
And sometimes you can't be picky about what size you want. We might only have giant Old Bay. We might not have the little, and it might be all gone by the time you get there if you want to wait.
Exactly.
So it originated in Baltimore, Maryland. It includes paprika, celery salt, crushed red pepper flakes, black pepper, and it also, so they must have some secrets in here. They think it includes bay leaf, dry mustard, nutmeg, ginger, cloves, mace, cardamom, and allspice.
Like a little bit of everything.
Oh, I've got a trivia question for you.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what mace has to do with nutmeg?
They come from the same tree.
They do.
I read that too.
Aha! And you know what mace is good in?
No.
Don't know that one, do you?
Well.
Sweet potato pie.
Ooh, okay.
It's good with sweet potatoes. It just has that slightly different taste. It's hard to find here, but it's great. Yep. So Old Bay, people use it for all sorts of seafood. They also use it in crab boils. They use it in corn in the cob and chowder. Fried chicken. I've had it on my salad.
Yeah, you can put it on French fries and popcorn and
oyster stew.
Yeah. Now, and the most important one,
what?
Which I would probably got to get to try maybe because I'm not a big fan of it, is in Bloody Marys.
Well, Bloody Mary makes anything taste good.
Yeah.
But that has to be one of the, if you think of our core things that people call and ask for that they can't get anything like here, that is the one.
And the origin of the name come from about the 1900s, the Chesapeake Bay.
Yes.
Okay. So there was a passenger ship there from the Old Bay line.
Oh, that makes sense. See it going past. Do you know who's a fan of it is Nigella Lawson.
She likes the Old Bay.
She loves Old Bay. I remember her when she does their old shows and she's in the pantry picking out her favorites. She picks that one out as well.
Okay, now we'll move on to a little bit further south.
That's right.
Okay, to Chef Paul.
Oh, wait, hang on. Before Chef Paul.
Oh, I missed something?
You did.
Wow.
We need to talk about, Chef
Cajun.
Paul was involved with this.
Yes, okay, Cajun. So we're going
Cajun and Creole seasoning. Now, we did a whole show basically on Creole and Cajun food.
Number 8
with our friend Phil Tripp. Spoke with us about it. And this is, again, from the South, and it's from 2 different, very closely related groups of people in Louisiana.
Yeah. So it's 2 separate different flavors between Cajun and Creole.
It's similar, but not the same. So if you need to substitute, you can, but it's not quite the same.
And if you want to know a lot more about it, go listen to episode number 8.
That's exactly right. And we talk about it in more depth. So for Creole, we'll start with that first. That's the more mild version of the 2. It consists of various influence from Africa, from slave cooks, from Native Americans and Southern Europeans. French as well is in there. French techniques had a strong effect with that. You can see the different cultures that guided Creole cooking reflected in the spice blend. The profile is paprika, garlic, thyme, oregano, black pepper, or white pepper. Now, Cajun seasoning, they throw a bit of cayenne. It's got heat.
Yeah, got a little bit of heat to it.
Got a bit of heat into it.
I love the heat, honey.
Yes, there's a great, which I'll mention in a minute, it is great Cajun cooking. If you want to go down a rabbit hole for about an hour on YouTube, Justin Wilson is the man to speak with. or to watch. He is very funny.
Now I'll talk about Chef Paul.
Yes, yes.
So I met Chef Paul a few times.
I'm so jealous. My
Yeah.
my dad's favorite cookbook was a Chef Paul one.
And we got. I should. Yeah, but we should share that cookbook with you. We got it even signed by him.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So, but he was. I'll go out on a limb and saying he was the godfather of blending spices.
Yeah,
American
I'll agree.
spices.
I'll agree.
Yeah. Because he came out with. He started Blackened Seasoning.
Oh,
That was his. Okay. And then he goes on. So he had all these magics. He had poultry magics and vegetable magic and
salmon magic.
Shrimp magic. So he was like Magic Johnson. So he was a magic man. All right. And one of my favorites, what nobody else likes except for you.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Hello, Sweetie.
The Sweetie blend. So it's like
Yes.
cinnamon and sugar and a few more things as well.
Yes.
But can you imagine some beignets and then put that on it?
Oh, but I put it on like, if you want to make a latte even,
that'd be
sprinkle
nice.
that on there and have a little bit different taste. So French toast.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've made cinnamon toast with it. Sweetie toast.
Yeah,
it
sweetie
would be.
toast. So we got to get all that whole line back in again. So
Yes.
that's on our agenda. So anybody listening say, but you talk about Chef Paul, you don't have it. But I don't know, for whatever reason, it just like faded away. But no, it's on our agenda to get back in.
Yes, we've talked about, and actually the first ground. So if you want chipotle powder, and all those chili powders, he was the first one I ever saw that had it on its own.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was great. He also had a great TV show, and he started out as a very large man.
You're thinking of the guy who played on Smokey and the Bandit.
No, I'm not thinking of Dom DeLuise.
Dom DeLuise. Yeah.
Yeah, but Chef Paul was a bit larger, and he used to roll around on a like a chair, like an office chair, when he was cooking.
Yeah, well,
and then he became a very svelte man later on in life. He did. He went from he
lost a lot of weight, but he was still handicapped.
Yeah. No, but a lot of it was his weight.
Yeah.
And he also, during Katrina, he would cook he'd open his restaurant and just cook for the workers that were helping the whole time. Speaking of seasonings and blendings, we've got Lowry's.
Yeah.
So that is another one people ask for. So it must be a taste of home that there's nothing here like it. I suppose Americans, we kind of use it like people use chicken salt now here.
Yeah. It's a main ingredient. To do like because they do have a prime rib restaurant, so it's a main ingredient to flavor your prime rib.
Yep.
But it's also a main ingredient for a lot of people making good old fried chicken.
It is. It's because it has a blend. It was the first seasoned salt that was ever released as a seasoned salt, and I've put that on everything from salads through because I think it must have a bit of celery salt in it that tastes fantastic.
I like celery salt.
I do too. It could be the Bloody Marys that I like as well because that's an ingredient. But
okay, so how about the 4 S's? You got that here. What 4 S's?
Well, if you want to make we're talking about barbecue rubs.
Yeah.
So here you go.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't I say them and you can say what could be in it too.
Okay.
So there's 4 S's that make a good barbecue rub.
Yep.
And sugar is the first one.
Yeah, for browning and crusting and a little bit of flavor and get that sweet and salty taste.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Savory. And this says here, there's also an herb named savory, which you can't find here.
I never heard of herbs.
I brought some over with me. They didn't check that 30 years ago.
Yeah, so you need that savory little background.
Yeah, so you just want some herbs, some spices, heap of garlic my dad would do.
It comes from, and everybody gets scared of glutinates, but that's a natural thing. Like
that's right.
monosodium glutamate.
It occurs naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's 2, 3 spices and herbs.
There we go. Back to herbs again.
That's right. That's it.
So things like paprika, that brings the color.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And spicy. So you want a little bit of bite.
Yeah. Well, not everybody likes spice, but a lot of people do. So, I mean, you could use the cayenne pepper, chipotle for a smoky one. Yep. You got ginger and horseradish here, but I don't know if maybe ginger. I don't know about horseradish. Mustard powder, definitely.
Yeah, my dad used to have a barbecue sauce recipe with a lot of mustard powder. I like it. So there's just a little bit of heat, sort of, you get the back of your palate. Yeah. It's not like in the front of your mouth.
Well, I think the North Carolina base is mustard based because you look at a lot of their barbecue sauces and they're golden color.
Yeah. Love it.
And then we got why do we need kosher salt when we got salt?
Yes. Well, it's salt, but salt is not salt.
No,
It's
not all salt
different.
is salty.
No, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So kosher salt. Now I'm going to hop around here a little bit. It doesn't get its name because it's blessed by a rabbi.
No.
It's got its name because the flakes are large and it's good for koshering meat.
But that was the original thing,
Yeah.
was preserving.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. But it is, it does have a supervision
Mm-hmm.
onto it, so it does make it kosher. So they can't put kosher on it unless
It says kosher.
it is kosher.
Yes.
But it's the shape of the salt, so it's not like little like diamond crystal. Because if you look underneath the magnifying glass, it looks like little crystals.
That's right.
So it like gets into, and this is more like a flake.
And the thing is that the handy hint that I read is like someone's like, "Can I substitute?" Well, a quarter cup of iodized finely grained salt and a quarter cup of kosher salt are
big difference,
huge difference.
Yeah.
You'll
one
end up
one is
puckered.
if you use if you substitute like that, putting the iodized salt instead of kosher salt, you'd be throwing it away because this is so salty.
And don't get a high blood pressure test for a while.
Yeah.
So it's easier to control. It gives a really nice flavor. A lot of people are divided with the iodized salt. They can taste the difference and they don't like the taste of it.
Yeah.
Some people need it because they did
you need the iron.
Yeah,
iodized.
They did that
Iodine.
because people were lacking that in their natural
Yeah.
diet. So it does have its place. But if you're making a fancy, or even just your roast, whatever you're cooking with, you can just sprinkle it on, and a little bit is so flavorful and goes a long way.
Yeah.
This is something that people ask for as well at work,
Mm-hmm.
and barbecue. And I think that really brought it into
because
people,
they use a lot of it in barbecue,
and you can see it when you're just putting it on the front. So all of a sudden people are asking for heaps of different, and we have different brands of it as well.
Yes.
Now, liquid smoke. Now you can talk about this.
Okay,
as
well, liquid smoke. Okay, did I go on that rant before? Was that before we started broadcasting about the liquid smoke?
Or is it on air, producer?
That was on air.
That was on air, so I don't have to go about that rant.
No.
So, anyway, but it came out of Kansas City.
Mister.
Okay? Yeah, because of Kansas City, and the guy Ernest H. Wright. So that's why you see Wright barbecue sauce.
Right.
That's right, because it's right.
That is correct.
Yeah.
We have that. Some people are like, no, but I want the other brand. I'm like, but this is the original brand.
Yeah. Well, he's from Kansas City, Missouri. Okay, and so over the river, over the Missouri River.
That's right.
Mo. So the Muddy Mo. So he's a pharmacist. Like all these guys are pharmacists that came out with all this stuff. Coca-Cola and this and
we're back. We keep going back to these themes.
Yeah.
So was America's food found by the pharmacies?
Yeah, and he noticed the thing about, I guess, like a potbelly stove in the pharmacy, about the outside of it when the condensation hit, and that's how he discovered liquid smoke. So it's smoke, and then it's done into moisture, and then the condensation becomes your liquid smoke.
So it's like trapped smoke. Then and that is what it is.
So a little drop trickled down the stovepipe. So that's how it all started.
And it's got a very strong flavor, so you have to be careful when you use it. I use it on beef jerky I've made with it. I've used it in stews. I've used it just about any casserole. Something needs to be a bit...
If you want it to taste like outdoors, but you can't get outside.
That's exactly right.
A lot of people use it for jerky.
Yeah.
Because you put in a dehydrator.
That's right. And as you know, one of my children is vegan, and she goes through a heap of it because she wants that sort of that smoky flavor, and you can't get that from a ham hock when you're vegan.
Yeah, but you could get it from a pine tree, a hickory tree.
Hickory tree.
You wouldn't want to eat pine because then it tastes like pine sol or something.
Well, that or Christmas. I know. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because there's different flavors of liquid smoke. So there's mesquite,
there's apple,
and hickory, as we said.
Almond. I think there was I'm
not sure about. Yeah, maybe. And then was there a cherry wood?
Cherrywood, yes.
Yep. And then they had some blended with jalapeno and chipotle as well.
That didn't go over too well. But...
No, because I think you just want what you want.
Yes.
And that adds to some additives to it possibly that would make that gentleman that you corrected a bit cranky.
Okay. And then just get back to the ranch dressing. Very popular and flavoring, and just put it on popcorn and snacks and mayos and dips.
So this is the new... like the new frontier of old seasonings, I guess. So, here we'll make it a shaker for you, make it more easy. You can put in a whole bunch of different things as
and you
well.
know who makes ranch dressing, don't you? Hidden Valley Ranch. You know the
Yes.
parent company is.
Who?
They're in California, Northern California.
I don't know who.
Clorox. So you know that their factory is spotlessly clean and disinfected.
Well, yes, that is a good point. Actually, when we get to feedback, Leslie had a comment about it involves ranch dressing, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
It just reminded me.
So let's go with our secret copycat recipe. So
Ooh.
you got the KFC, the supposedly 11 herbs and spices.
Yes, so I've read this before, so a lot of people might be familiar with this. So the Chicago Tribune published an article. They interviewed a nephew of Colonel Sanders. During the interview, the nephew, Joe Lexington, produced a family photo album that belonged to his aunt Claudia. She just happened to be the second wife of Colonel Sanders. They leafed through the family album, and at the end is a copy of her will. And attached to that is a handwritten recipe with 11 herbs and spices to be added to 2 cups of flour.
Yeah, but you notice there's no indication of how much of
No,
each
there
one.
is. If you
there
look
is.
it up,
Oh.
I thought I'd give our listeners
Okay,
a little bit of homework.
They
They
could go
can
look
look
it
it
up
up.
themselves. All right.
Because, what if we got in trouble? What if this is real and I gave away the exact recipe?
Yeah.
Let's cover our bases.
All right. So we got to go through the 11.
Yes.
All right. Quick.
Salt, thyme, basil, oregano, celery salt, black pepper, dried mustard, paprika, garlic salt, ground ginger, white pepper.
It's easier to go to the checkout window and
Well,
get
that's
it
true.
on
There's only
on
one
the
about
drive-through.
That's that is. And Phil, can I just say,
Yeah.
thank you for this show, because I am so happy that I'm saying basil, oregano, and no one's freaking correcting me.
Right. No basil and oregano. No, it's basil
Oregano.
Lagol anyway.
Ugh. Now, I'll have to say this.
All right, you can say this one.
Did you know Phil invented bagel seasoning?
Nobody else knows.
Nobody else knows. He'll tell you about it.
Yep.
And this is also known as Who Got Ripped Off This Week.
It's me. The only difference in the bagel seasoning that the everything bagel seasoning, and I think I mentioned this once before.
Mhm.
Okay, when I was a kid working in a bagel bakery, this is back in the 70s.
Right?
So I was baking bagels, and yeah, you could take some home, but after a while you don't want it, but you want to make your own little blend. So I used to mix, because I like sesame seeds, I like the garlic, I like the onion. I didn't like poppy seeds. I left poppy seeds out.
Okay.
And salt. And that was my everything bagel, except for the poppy seed.
Right.
Because that was everything that we had to make bagel, the flavor of the bagels. Those were the flavors.
So you would make that for you?
Yeah, except for pumpernickel, which was the pumpernickel bagel and the egg bagel, but that had nothing on the top of them. Nobody makes egg bagels.
I know. We used to be able to get them once a week at the bagel kitchen at home.
No.
Mom will correct me. I think that Noah's Bagels is what's open in her
So it's like a
area.
cully bread but turned into a bagel.
It's the most lovely texture.
Yeah.
So we at USA Foods have made it up to the world.
Yep.
So we've got Phil making bagel seasoning.
How am I so blessed?
Too cool.
Yes.
It is. He's returned to his roots and he's sharing it with our people.
So my thing is, if you're going to use it, something a little moist.
Yes.
So like cream cheese, butter, sprinkle on. So this way it hydrates unless you really want it crunchy, but the onion and garlic, which is dehydrated, hummus and stuff like that, mac and cheese, salads. Yes. Okay. If you go to bake with it, put it into water first.
That's
get it all wet. And then use that. That's the proper way to do it. This way it sticks onto what you're baking.
That's fantastic.
And if you want to do something like a Gdayall, okay, so you get a pan, slice up some very thin, finely sliced onions, with butter till they brown. Okay, and then add your seasoning into that, mix it all around. And that's basically what's in the middle of a Gdayall that you will find in New York.
Oh yeah,
it's good.
Put that on my list. And you know what else is? We use it. We've got a jar of it, and we put it on anything that needs a bit of a lift, including, I don't know, out of desperation, I had a very sad frozen dinner.
Yeah.
Need to lift it. Put that on. I put it on pizza.
Pizza.
It's really good on it. It's
Yeah,
really good on cheese pizza.
Because you get that onion and garlic flavoring in there.
And that is
and then the poppies and the sesame seeds go along for the ride.
Yeah. And they're supposed to be good for you, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's right. And we even have a Hell's Kitchen version, which has a bit of heat to it as well.
Yeah, we could come up with like I made a cowboy version,
Yes,
which
that
your
was really
daughter
good.
loves. So
Yes.
we'll probably start picking those in very shortly. I don't know when I get the ambition to do it. Might never happen.
I'll keep pushing
The,
him, folks, because it's worth
the
it.
cowboy one, the Chief said Bay one. I came up with all the names
Yeah.
and what they taste like, and they're all pretty good.
They're good. The cowboy one is very good. That should return, I think.
And the Mexican one.
Oh, yeah, that was good too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll get him on that.
Right. So let's move on to pumpkin spice.
Which is really
So huge in America
Oh.
during September, October, November, December. Everything is pumpkin spice. Cheerios, Coffee Mate,
and
everything.
And I'm the biggest junkie of it at
Yeah.
all. I actually organized one of our trips
To go
that we
during that
went.
time.
I made sure that pumpkin spice season had just started when I got there. So one of the first things I did was go to Starbucks. I put cash in my wallet because I said to Brendan, "Do you want to get any cash before we go?"
Yeah.
He went, "I don't need cash." And I will just, I went, "Okay." So I got like $50, put it in my wallet, and I got off the plane and went and got a pumpkin latte from the airport one. And I told you should have had the money.
Yeah.
He just gave me a drink.
And you got little list of things that you could use make pumpkin bread, pumpkin pie, of course, cookies you can put in,
Oh yeah.
coffee. Now, if you're using like the one that we have, the powder,
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing a blend cook, you can't put it into a cup of coffee unless you use the Torini.
No.
But if you use it as you're blending, as you're doing your coffee, like a drip coffee,
Yeah,
you put it into with the grounds.
Oh,
yes.
and it's very nice.
Mhm.
You can also put it just about any sort of baking, as I said, like sort of sweet sort of thing, and you can put it on pumpkin when you're roasting it. So because it's not sugary, it's just the spices. It doesn't make it too sweet.
Yep.
And we do our own blend of that as well.
Yep.
Now I miss apple cider. I don't know if you did. Do you guys do apple cider?
No.
That's all right. Different parts of the country. That's why I'm asking. Because I come from Apple Hill, which is Sacramento, about an hour away, and we get apple cider there. So you use sort of mulled spices with it. So it's like a mulled wine, but not necessarily alcoholic.
Actually, you could use the pumpkin spice seasoning into that, and just add your orange peel, and I think all the other spices are basically already in SF vanilla. Everything else is already in the pumpkin spice seasoning.
And so, by the way, apple cider for us as Americans is a sort of unfiltered juice. Where if you're from the UK or really here, it's alcoholic cider. It's hard cider.
Hard cider.
So I just wanted to clarify that. So I'll just quickly run through. If you want to make, and it's the season at the moment, some apple cider. If you have a gallon of apple juice, tablespoon allspice, a tablespoon freshly grated, teaspoon. Tablespoon might hospitalize you. Teaspoon freshly grated nutmeg, 4 cloves. They're whole cloves, 3 cinnamon sticks, and 1 vanilla bean. Split that, and you can add brandy if you want.
Spike it up a bit.
Or Calvados, which is apple brandy. It's very nice. Or bourbon.
Yeah.
Bourbon's never a bad idea. And then you just warm it up gently for a while and serve hot.
And there's apple whiskey that comes out of New Jersey.
Ooh.
That's been produced since since Washington.
I did not know that.
Blanked on the name of it, but somebody would know. Applejack, they call it.
Oh,
it's Applejack.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that because we haven't mentioned a president this show. Yeah. So you brought the father.
So Applejack.
I'll write that down. That would be good.
Yeah, we did mention president.
Oh, I meant I meant a founding father.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Nixon,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's we'll come back with Nat Nosh.
That's right.
Short break. Let's go. Okay, so I'll start off with
please.
Wednesday, June the 16th, National Fudge Day.
Fudge is fantastic.
Yes.
See's Candy makes the best fudge. There's a chitty recipe with
Rachel Ray. You can't eat a lot of it because it's so sweet and rich.
You just need a little bit. That's the only time I kind of like nuts in something because it kind of breaks it up a little bit.
The walnuts in it. Yeah.
But it's a Christmas time thing for me.
Yeah. And then tomorrow is eat all your veggies.
What did it? Right.
Eat your veggies today. All of them.
That's it.
All of them. I like veggies.
I like them too.
Yeah.
I had to deal with one of my children that had to, my husband used to have to put a watch on her. I'll give you 3 minutes to swallow that mouthful, it would go round and
Oh,
round and
God.
round. So she could have dealt with that.
And it's also National Apple Strudel Day. I like apple strudels.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
apple strudel.
Nice and crispy on the
Yay.
outside at that little sugar.
A nice good bakery that has like the
Yes.
real
Yeah.
pastry that's
It's
been
got to go like a
stretched.
German bakery or
Yes,
something.
absolutely.
And
Now-
go ahead.
Friday, June 18th. Oh, this is a good one.
Cherry Tart Day.
Yum.
That was a cherry. There's like a little thing with.
Well, it doesn't have, it's tart. A tart is often just a pie without a lid.
Yeah.
Or more like a shell of pastry,
Mhm.
and you might put something on the bottom like cream or frangipani or something like that in the fruit. But cherries,
Yeah,
so
cherry, nice and
yum.
tart. And it is tart.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
The right ones.
And National Splurge Day.
What do you just?
You just splurge on everything.
Woohoo!
Why
It's
they
the
just
seafood
call it?
diet. I see food, I eat it.
Yeah, National Pig Out Day.
That's
yeah.
exactly right. That is a good day.
Okay.
And then it's also National Sushi Day.
you could pig out on sushi.
Oh, I could pig out on
Uh,
sushi.
My sister-in-law Mary Jane.
Yes.
She spent a few weeks with us when we lived in California. And California had extreme sushi.
Yes.
And I come home from work. Oh, what are you doing, Jeanette? Don't feel like cooking. You feel like want to go? No. You go with Mary Jane. We go out to the sushi restaurant. Okay, this is going into early '80s,
Mhm.
right? When money was money. Okay, I would never get out of that place. She was like a rail. Never get out of that place with less than $125. Mary Jane, you had enough yet? No. Let's get some more. You paying? No, I don't got no money. Thanks.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
I've never met her, but I already like her.
And then here's a day for you
Yes.
on Saturday. Good thing it's on Saturday.
Yes. National Dry Martini Day.
Yes.
Well, those olives wouldn't have gone to waste that I talked about earlier.
No, the olives
Ah.
and or onions. I never had with the onions. I like the olives in it.
I like the
It's like
olives in it too.
you're eating
You can get a snack.
a snack. Yes,
That's
exactly.
exactly right.
I remember when I first got into I went to a wedding one time and I had maybe about 2 or 3 martinis at the
Tea martinis?
at the what do you call that hour? The happy hour?
Yes.
Remember you used to have
Yeah,
that at the
very
weddings?
valuable, yes.
God, I was happy thereafter.
Well, the opposite of that is on Sunday, and I wouldn't want this after a big Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
National Vanilla Milkshake Day.
Goes to be National Puke It Up Day.
Yeah. They don't mix, so you gotta want to give a day between that.
Yes.
And I actually judge a place by how they make a vanilla milkshake.
Yeah.
Because if that's good,
And that's with real ice cream in it, not just milk.
that's
And
exactly. And no soft serve.
Yeah.
That's it. And then Monday.
here we go again.
Well, are you going to say your line? You've said all the
No.
Okay. National Peaches and Cream Day.
So he left her.
For cream. She left,
Yeah.
or she left
She
him.
left him for
Peaches left Herb for cream.
Yeah.
And National Smoothie Day.
Yeah.
Well, if you just mix the first thing, you got the second.
Yeah, I guess so. But like my vision of smoothies, or my first impression of smoothie, when we lived in Huntington Beach,
Yes.
and we used to go driving down PCH,
Yes.
and you get to like Newport and stuff, and there's date shakes there, which is like a smoothie,
Right.
and that's what they were famous for. It.
Oh, I did not know
Yeah.
that one.
Date shakes.
Oh, I love a smoothie. Now, this is such a good day. Tuesday, June 22nd. Oh, it's such a good day, Phil.
Well, actually, it should be the other way around,
Yeah, okay, let's do it the other way around. It's not only is it National Onion Rings Day.
right? Because that's a savory part.
That is like
and a good onion ring. I mean,
that's like
good
a
one,
gift
not-
from God.
Yeah, and not the prefabricated
No.
ones.
You want to see it, like a tempura batter or
Yeah.
something. You want to see it sort of rough around the edges.
Mhm.
You don't want to confuse it with the calamari. You want it right? And it's also Chocolate Eclair Day.
Yeah, the dessert.
Oh, and if you get the box
Yeah.
of little Weight Watchers chocolate eclairs, you can eat the whole box. It's just
yeah.
like eating one.
It's just like eating one, right? Exactly.
Well,
Yeah. And next week's show,
yes.
speaking of éclairs, which is the French.
Yes, you could. With choux
Okay.
pastry.
So next week's show is Italian guns and pastries and cookies.
So we will be talking about, the Italian influence
Yes.
and, which coast. I'm going to investigate a little bit what happened in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Everything's is New Jersey I'm looking at the moment.
Oh, Jersey, New York,
Yep.
Brooklyn.
Yes.
Because that's where a lot of the migrants went.
And
But
in-
South was it South Beach or South San Francisco? It's where the
Yes, South
Italians-
San Francisco, absolutely.
The Maggio brothers came from there.
Yes.
Joe.
I might send a little message to my friend Teresa, who is a proud South San Franciscan girl, and see what she talks about. And Sicilian. Actually, do you know what's so funny? Sorry, I don't care, producer. At my wedding, there was an issue, and I thought someone might not be able to do something at my wedding. I forgot what it was now. And I said, can you, Teresa, she goes, do you want me to take care of it for you? I'm Sicilian.
Yeah, no problem. Well, we got it.
Her dad was a plumber with 4 daughters.
Oh, yeah, plumber, right. Yeah. At least he wasn't in waste management.
That's exactly right.
I went out with a girl from Canarsie, and her father was in waste management. Make sure my daughter's home by 11:30.
Yes,
no
sir.
problem.
11:25.
See, we'll be home early. One time I got a flat.
Oh, and no cell phone.
I was sweating. Yeah,
I bet.
I get home. I didn't wash my hands.
So you want to show? I love that. Oh, so that's what we'll be talking about next week. Now, so let Phil recover from his near experience with death. We will talk about. We're going to go back. So if you want to come see us, we are located at 73 Cochrane's Road, Moorabbin. We are open 10 to 5 Monday through Thursday. Friday is 10 to 6. Saturday is 10 to 5, and Sunday is 11 to 5. So we're around most of the time.
And 24/7 on the internet.
That is exactly right. So we do click and collects. We'll ship to you whatever you need. We want to talk again. We don't want you to forget, pop it in your diary, that on June 26th, we're doing an in-store recording. And
it's going to be a big party time.
It's
gonna
4th
be
of July.
4th of July, Independence Day.
That's it. Come in with your red, white, and blue.
Yes.
And
actually, that might be a little bonus for you.
Yes.
Woo!
Woohoo! Oh,
coming with your red, white, and blue.
And we'll come up with something for you.
Yeah. I can't go on beyond that.
The code of the month don't forget, is swoon.
Yeah.
SWOON.
No
No
W.
double O.
No double O's.
No. And also click on the Gdayall podcast specials on the website, and you get a few little extra goodies in there. And please subscribe or share this podcast. If you want to send me an email or all of us an email, podcast@usafoods.com.au.
Okay.
And
that wraps it up.
No, we got feedback.
Oh, feedback.
Feedback.
How do we do this without the feedback yet?
Well, I don't know.
You jumped out of order.
Oh, I'm out of order. You're out of order. This whole place is out of order. God, I was waiting for that.
There you go.
I'm walking here.
That's from Pacino to Hoffman. It's like you never know
I
what's
love
going to
that line.
happen.
I'm out of order. You're out of. I could just. It's typical New Yorker.
Yeah. You hear that great story about Pacino? He's in a restaurant. He goes to the toilet.
Yeah.
They hear screaming and yelling, and they go, "Oh my God!" Open the door, Mr. Pacino. He's yelling at Siri because she's not dialing the number he wants. He's throwing his phone around. Okay.
All right.
So we've got some feedback.
Okay.
Okay. Regarding to the burgers. So Leslie had a few things.
Okay.
Okay. She said the best burger, although In-N-Out is the best, is ground sirloin in a brioche bun with Gruyere cheese.
Gruyere
Cheese.
Gruyere cheese.
Yes, and whatever fixings you like.
Okay.
She's also very surprised we didn't mention the Bible verses on the bottom of the cups at In-N-Out. But she forgives us, and she has she says Chick-fil-A also does it, but we take a Walmart stand with Chick-fil-A.
They have Walmarts now?
No,
Oh.
due to their treatment of members of the community. So she just
Of Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
But they're
Chick-fil-A.
religious people.
Yes,
They're
but they
closed
don't
on
like
Sunday.
LGBTQI people.
Oh, that's
So Mom does the Walmart thing, where if I want Chick-fil-A, she'll just throw me out of the car as she's driving past.
okay.
And she wants the recipe for brisket that you didn't want to hear the other week.
That I didn't want to
Yeah,
hear.
you go, I don't like brisket. I don't want to hear the recipe. I
Oh.
said, I got a good one. You go, I don't want to hear it.
Okay, well, you have to go send it to her.
No, I can just tell you. It's that quick. That's what I said.
Oh,
It's a packet of
you're going to tell me anyway.
Yeah, because my mom, Good Seasons
Yeah.
Italian dressing. A packet of ranch dressing.
Yeah.
a packet of gravy mix. Mix it up, add wine, water,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of cups, put your brisket in it, put it in the
In the
crock pot
Or the crock pot.
or
Yep.
the oven
Yep.
for how many hours you
See,
need to
that's
do
probably
it.
similar to the first brisket I ever had out of Kansas City. It was done that way. It was done in the oven.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's like, I don't like it. So, Liz J.
Yes, Liz.
Liz, our friend Liz, was talking about McDonald's even has a car in Little Druin. So COVID had a big effect on the hamburgers there. No points for guessing what it's called. McDelivery. Sorry, but there's only one hamburger, ground beef, called mince here, squashed into a patty and fried or grilled. When I first tried a hamburger in Australia, it was really a ristle, and it was deep fried, not yum.
Whoa.
And I agree completely. I was like, "Where's a real hamburger?"
Yeah.
So Liz had that. Now we also have Jane, who is my stepmom. So she was talking about the dad were asking about donuts as a former police officer. He used to go get the Sunday paper at Dick's newsstand and get 2 apple fritters every week. They would have 2 apple fritters on a Sunday.
Did he pay for them?
Well, he was retired, so he probably didn't because he was retired.
Shows
So they
badge.
probably went, "Oh,
No, but
boys,
they
here
always
you
get
go."
they always got the badge. Yeah.
Yeah, they always have the badge. I have it.
Yeah. My friend Johnny has one too, and he wasn't even a cop.
Okay, and there's just one little bit from my mom, and I think this covers donuts. Mission Bakery did the very best coffee cakes and breakfast pastries. I think because he was from Europe, and when you ate a bear claw, it tasted like almond paste. And remember the palm leaves? They were amazing.
Mm.
He drizzled them with apricot syrup before he put baking sugar on top. Donuts and coffee for the cops is just normal. And this is where he said, your dad would say he'd always paid for it, but I doubt it. Donuts were brought into work so much at work. It was a normal occurrence, but you had to be fast to get your favorite, or you were almost killed if there was a maple bar in the mix. So many kinds: sugar, old-fashioned, twist, cake, chocolate glaze, cake with chocolate frosting, apple fritters, maple bars, sourdough, and jelly-filled.
Oh,
And I could just see that sitting on a table at work. Going, oh.
Which one am I going to eat? Yeah.
That's right. See, we're polite because donuts are so expensive here. If someone brings in, we cut them in half,
yep.
quarters.
So I just want to go back on one thing that you mentioned about the brioche roll.
Yes.
Okay. So I had a very disappointing packet of brioche that I bought.
Oh no.
Yeah. So here's my rant.
Okay. We were missing it.
So if you want a good brioche roll,
yes,
I suggest Aldi.
Yes.
They are really nice.
Okay.
Don't buy it at Kohl's.
Oh, I don't buy bread at Kohl's.
Tasteless, and they have no taste, and they're not soft. They're awful.
Okay. Aldi, it is.
Aldi outdoes Kohl's on their brioche, and probably even better than Woolies.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm a big Aldi fan, and their breads are always good. So there you go. There's a tip as well.
Yep. So if you go to do your hamburgers on brioche rolls, go to Aldi.
Okay. Well, actually, I don't know if there's an Aldi.
I think for the you're buying 6 for the price of 4 at Kohl's. Okay.
Now, our sign off this week.
Our sign off is you could do it because it's Julia Child.
She was just like my nice auntie that was on TV every day after school. I love this woman. People who love to eat are always the best people.
Yep.
That's it. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, that is the truth.
Have a good week, everyone.
Yep, and we'll see you next time.
That's right, with hopefully some pastries. We might be chewing then, too.
Yes.